We are back on Get Up on this Football Friday. Time for a sound off. Interesting people saying interesting things. Shedeur Sanders talking yesterday about his playing status, of basically meaning he hasn't played at all. Third string quarterback in Cleveland this year. Listen to what he said.
If things happen, things turn out where I play, then I'll be out there and I'll be ready to play. So I'm ready to play right now. I know if you see the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that.
That was interesting to say the least.
And just like that, one sentence sent shockwaves through the NFL landscape. Shedeur Sanders, the son of Dion, the young rookie sitting as Cleveland's third-string quarterback, the guy who hasn't even taken a regular season snap, dropped a line that had every analyst, every critic, and every fan ready to sound off. Was it confidence? Was it arrogance? Or was it just honesty in a league that doesn't forgive mistakes with microphones? Because here's the truth, Shedeur didn't just say he's ready. He said he knows he's better than some of the starters out there right now. And in a season where quarterback play has been all over the place, where veterans are struggling, where rookies are being thrown into the fire, you can see why his words hit different. But the problem? Timing. Bart Scott said it perfectly on Get Up, that's not your line. When you're a fifth-round pick, when you're buried on the depth chart, when the last time fans saw you was preseason football against future insurance salesmen, you don't give the media that headline. And that's exactly what Shedeur just did. Now, let's pause for a second here, because this is where things get spicy. Bart Scott wasn't just critiquing the quote, he was pointing out the danger of it. He reminded everyone that young players get tricked. Cameras go on, reporters smile, you feel like somebody cares, and suddenly you're saying things that don't play well on ESPN. Shedeur gave them the soundbite. He gave them the headline. And now, instead of talking about the Browns' huge win over the Packers, we're talking about the rookie quarterback who hasn't seen the field. And you know what? That's exactly what makes this so controversial. But let me ask you this, Gridiron family, do you think Shedeur was wrong to say it? Or do you respect him for showing some confidence when he hasn't had a chance to prove it yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because right now, the entire NFL world is split. Confidence is a double-edged sword. It can crown you or it can cut you. Bart Scott wasn't alone in sounding the alarm. Harry Douglas chimed in too, shaking his head and calling it tone deaf. Because Shedeur is a fifth-round pick. A kid who's just trying to find his way in the NFL. Douglas reminded everyone that this is a team sport. That instead of saying, I'm ready, I could play better, Shedeur should have been celebrating his teammates. Because the Browns, let's not forget this, just had an incredible win and rookies across the roster were balling. Mason Graham, Carson Schwessinger, Judkins, Sampson, names that aren't in the headlines but rookies making real plays, real contributions, and actually helping Cleveland win games. And yet the spotlight isn't on them, it's on Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback who hasn't touched the field. That right there is what drives guys like Douglas crazy. The Browns rookies deserved love. They deserved that national shine. Instead, Shedeur gave the critics ammunition. But here's where I'm going to defend him a little bit. Because let's be honest, isn't every quarterback supposed to believe they can play? Isn't confidence the lifeblood of the position? Look around the league. You think CJ Stroud doesn't believe he's already better than some veterans? You think Brock Purdy, back when he was Mr. Irrelevant, didn't walk into San Francisco believing he could outplay the guy ahead of him? So yes, Shedeur should have kept it in-house. Yes, the timing was terrible. But at the same time, would you really want your rookie QB saying, nah, I don't think I'm ready, I don't think I can compete with those guys? Of course not.
What do we say about that?
Well, that's not your line, right? Your line is just to say, hey, I'm here trying to get better. I'll be ready. I'm just going to try and do my best. You got to kind of get better in silence. And you have to realize that sometimes you got reporters just sitting around. They'll put a camera in your face. You think they're your friend. You feel good because you're getting some attention because you're not the starting quarterback. And you just say stuff, not realizing that it blows up to stuff like this. And the last time we saw him in the playoff, in the preseason against guys that are probably pumping gas right now, he didn't look so good. So he needs to just say, listen, just improve and don't poke the bear.
Rex always used to say anything you want, just name two teammates and a coach. And if you're Shedeur right now, it's all about celebrating your teammates, getting better, getting coached, getting developed.
Big win.
And he he's really a good kid. Like, that just comes off so tone deaf. You're a 5th-round pick just trying to find your way.
I would say the shame of it is this. They just came off an amazing win.
Yep.
And we haven't talked about them at all this week. And the other guys in that rookie class, Mason Graham, Carson Schlesinger, Judkins, Sampson.
Meaning the Browns
Fannin.
rookies
The Browns
themselves.
rookies
Yeah.
are playing awesome and are
Yeah.
making contributions, and they're not getting the national spotlight. And then the second the camera's on them, it's, I could play. Who's he even referring to?
That clip tells the whole story. Shedeur is being judged not just on what he said, but on how he last looked. And in the preseason, he looked raw. He looked like a rookie. Bart Scott even joked that those defenders he struggled against are probably out of the league already. And yet Shedeur struggled. That's the reality. So when he says, "I know I can do better than some of the guys starting," people hear it as delusion. They hear it as a guy skipping steps. They hear it as tone deaf. But let's flip it. What if Shedeur's actually right? What if, sitting on that Cleveland sideline, he's watching quarterbacks in the league miss reads, throw bad picks, and collapse under pressure, and he's thinking, I can do this. I can do better. Are we really going to say he's lying? Sometimes the truth sounds like arrogance, especially when it comes from the wrong mouth at the wrong time. Now, here's the real problem. Cleveland just beat Green Bay. A massive win. They've been one of the surprise stories early this season. And what did the national media talk about on Friday morning? Not the defense. Not the coaching. Not the rookies making plays. Nope. They talked about Shedeur Sanders. That's what Harry Douglas called out. That's what Peter Schrager hinted at. The entire Get Up panel shifted from Cleveland's success to Cleveland's rookie QB controversy, and that's exactly the opposite of what the Browns wanted. And that's where this story gets tricky. Because for Shedeur, this isn't just about confidence anymore. It's about perception. It's about whether his own teammates trust him to put the team first. If you're in that locker room, are you saying, yeah, I get it, he's just confident? Or are you saying, come on man, we just beat the Packers and you're making it about yourself? So let me ask you again, Gridiron family, what would you think if you were a Browns player? Would you be cool with your rookie QB flexing in the media? Or would you pull him aside and say, keep your head down, we've got bigger goals right now? The NFL doesn't just test your talent. It tests your discipline, your timing, and your ability to play the media game. And yet, here's the part that people aren't talking about enough. Mike Greenberg said he wants Shedeur to get a chance this year. He wants him to show what he can do. Because for all the criticism, for all the bad timing takes, there's something magnetic about Shedeur Sanders. The kid carries the Dion brand. He carries the spotlight. And people, whether they're rooting for him to succeed or rooting for him to fail, are going to watch. And that's what makes this such a big deal. One quote, one rookie mistake just added fuel to the fire. The detractors are louder. The pressure is bigger. The expectations are higher. And the moment he gets his shot, whether that's week 8, week 12, or maybe not until next season, the cameras will be rolling and everyone will be waiting to see if his words match his game. That's the reality of Shedeur Sanders. One soundbite, and suddenly, it's not just about football anymore. It's about narrative. So let's step back here. Why did this even blow up the way it did? Because, like Bart Scott said, there's a time and a place. The NFL isn't just about what happens on Sundays. It's about how you carry yourself the other 6 days of the week. It's about what you say when the cameras are rolling, and even more importantly, what you don't say. And when Shedeur Sanders told the world, I know I'm capable of doing better than that, he skipped a step in the NFL learning curve. Most rookies are coached to death on this stuff. They're taught the script, I'm learning, I'm improving, I'll be ready when my number's called. It's about the team. Safe, boring, predictable. But Shedeur didn't stick to the script, and that's what has everyone buzzing. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Was he wrong? Or was he just being authentic in a league full of rehearsed answers? Sometimes the most dangerous thing in football isn't the blitz, it's honesty. Because let's not forget, Shedeur's been under a spotlight his whole life. He's Deion Sanders' son. He's had cameras in his face since high school. He's been doubted, hyped, criticized, praised, all before he ever wore an NFL jersey. So when he says he's ready, when he says he can do better than some starters, maybe that's not arrogance. Maybe that's the same chip on his shoulder that carried him through Colorado, through the media storm, through college football chaos. And yet, NFL veterans don't want to hear it. Bart Scott wasn't pulling punches. He reminded everyone that Shedeur looked shaky in the preseason, and that's against backups. Guys who, in Bart's words, are probably pumping gas right now. That's harsh. That's cutting. But that's the NFL. It's unforgiving. One shaky outing in August, and that's the label people remember. So imagine being Shedeur right now. You're in Cleveland. You're sitting behind veterans. You're watching games slip by every week. And you're thinking, man, I know I can play. I know I can do this better than what I'm seeing on TV. Do you keep that bottled up? Or do you let it slip? He let it slip. And now the Wolves are out. But here's where this gets even deeper. This isn't just about Shedeur Sanders. This is about the Browns. Cleveland is off to a hot start. Their rookies are shining. Mason Graham, Carson Schwessinger, Judkins, Sampson. Names casual fans don't even know yet, but they're already impacting games. They're already part of winning football. And while those guys are grinding in silence, Shedeur is the headline. That's the imbalance Harry Douglas pointed to. That's the frustration. Because in football, no one player is supposed to outshine the team. And this is where the Cleveland locker room is being tested. Do they rally behind Shedeur, understanding he's young and learning? Or do they quietly resent the fact that their own hard work is being overshadowed by a rookie quote that wasn't even necessary? Let me throw that question at you, Gridiron family. If you're one of those Browns rookies making plays every week, how would you feel? Would you shrug and say, that's just Shedeur being Shedeur? Or would you say, come on man, keep it about the team? Every NFL locker room has rules that never get written down. And rule number 1 is don't make it about yourself. Now let's zoom out. Because the panel on Get Up wasn't just clowning Shedeur. They were also worried about the big picture. Mike Greenberg said it out loud. He wants Shedeur to get a chance this year. He wants to see what he can do. And here's the crazy part, so do a lot of people. Because whether you love him or hate him, Shedeur Sanders brings eyeballs. He brings intrigue. He brings controversy. And the NFL, let's be honest, loves controversy. But the danger? Quotes like this don't just fade away. They stick. And when Shedeur does eventually get his shot, this is the measuring stick. Every incomplete pass, every sack, every bad read, critics will replay this quote. They'll say, remember when he said he was better than starters? Where's that now? That's the trap he's fallen into. By giving the media the soundbite, he's raised the stakes on his own career. And yet, part of me loves it, because it's bold. It's fearless. And sometimes, that's exactly what separates quarterbacks who fade into obscurity from quarterbacks who actually get their shot. But let's not ignore the shadow here, the shadow of Deion Sanders. This isn't just Shedeur talking. Every time he speaks, it feels like the prime effect follows him. People expect flash. People expect confidence. People expect something that isn't normal. And when you're Deion's son, you don't get the luxury of being boring. That's the double standard. If another rookie QB said the same line, maybe it would slide under the radar. Maybe it's just confidence. But because it's Shedeur Sanders, because it's Prime's boy, the headline feels louder, the controversy feels bigger, and the criticism feels harsher. Sometimes your last name is your greatest gift, and your heaviest burden. Now, let's bring it back to Cleveland. The Browns are trying to build something. They've got veterans, they've got rookies stepping up, they've got momentum. And yet, one rookie QB quote has hijacked the narrative. Harry Douglas said it best, there's a time and a place. That's the lesson Shedeur's going to have to learn. Confidence? Necessary. Belief in yourself? Absolutely. But blurting it out in front of cameras when you're still holding a clipboard? That's the wrong time, the wrong place. Still, there's a silver lining here. Because controversy creates attention. And attention, in the NFL, can't be ignored. Shedeur Sanders is now officially on the radar. Fans are watching. Analysts are watching. And somewhere deep down, you know the Browns coaching staff is watching too. Because if the season takes a turn, if injuries pile up, if they need someone to step in, suddenly, the kid who said, I'm better than that, becomes the most fascinating storyline in Cleveland. So let's end this with one last question for you. Do you think Shedeur Sanders will get his shot this season? And if he does, will he back up his words with play, or will this soundbite come back to haunt him forever? Every NFL career has a defining moment. For Shedeur Sanders, it might already be here, and it hasn't even happened on the field yet. And that's the story, Gridiron family. Shedeur Sanders, one quote, one controversy, and suddenly the whole league is paying attention. Love him or hate him, you can't ignore him. And trust me, this isn't the last time we'll be talking about Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and join us here every day on Gridiron Insights for more NFL drama, controversy, and inside stories that the mainstream won't tell you. Because when it comes to football, the truth isn't always clean, but it's always worth talking about.